It's PQ time, baby. And this past weekend, I headed down to Rollplay in March with a bunch of the Norwich crew and the Alliance Dispatchers for our first PQ of the Ashes of the Empire format. Premier format, real competition, the works. And it felt like a while since we've done anything like this as well, which is great. But lured in by a completely false sense of security from some fairly successful testing in the lead up, I decided to take Sebulba. Yeah, with Sebulba with a yellow base. Hit hard, hit fast. That was the plan. I'm No Beef Just Party. This is SWURAY. And the question that I want to ask is, should I have bet on Sebulba? Yeah, I'm still using that intro. Right, the deck, you might recognize this from a short I put out earlier in the week. But there were a couple of changes for the live event. Swapped out the stolen AT haulers for an outer rim constable, just to give myself some protection against like upgrades like condemn or any pilots. I wasn't getting much use out of hauler as it mainly caused more trouble for me than causing it. And I made a slight adjustment to the sideboard as well, which I'll discuss later on. But no super mega secret spice in this list. The game plan is pretty straightforward. Play units, swing with units, put pressure, get a good Sebulba flip, hit hard, hit fast, and hope your opponent hasn't got an answer for Sebulba with two Battle Furies on it. But yeah, it's a very simple list. It's aggro. It's not there for combos or anything kind of too complicated or crazy. So let me walk you through the key pieces of the deck. So let's start with the two pod racers in there. They really are the backbone of the early game of this deck. Canyon Frontrunner in particular is an ideal turn on play if you've got the initiative. Great for early board control and applying pressure early on, just immediate pressure as you're smashing for three. Sebulba's Pod Racer does exactly what you want an aggro unit to do, especially when you start using that synergy with Sebulba himself. You can really cause a problem, like particularly doing 8 damage if you get to swing twice with him. But generally, that synergy is one of the most kind of fun combos that I think an aggro player can have in the game at the moment. Next up, the discard package. So red and yellow is in a really tricky spot at the minute in the meta. The strength of particularly red, blue villainy decks and kind of early sentinels in green hero as well just makes aggro quite tough on the ground. So the discard package is one of our most reliable ways to stay in the game, particularly those type of games that we shouldn't be winning with those kind of sentinel heavy early game decks that are out there. Interrogation Droid, great. Double action. You get to play a unit, tap a unit, and they potentially have to discard something. Red Lookout, you play a body, they discard something. Hold for questioning. Exhaust, get rid of something. So all those cards are in there to cause maximum hand disruption, scupper any of your opponent's plans before they can get them going and get really started, and just make them play a slightly worse version of their deck. It's not glamorous at all, really, but it's tricksy, it's fun, it's what kind of cunning is all about, and what I really like about using the cunning aspect in the game. Next up, there's the little Saboteur package in the deck. So with the amount of early Sentinel in this particular meta, I really needed some Saboteur support to kind of help me stay in the game when they would drop something. Fennec is in there to deal with any pesky early units. Saboteur and Ambush is really good. Unsanctioned Patrol for support swing and then putting a body in space, and to kind of help keep up with faster decks as well. Ascension Cable was a bit of a hit. Pop it on Sebulba, give him Saboteur so we can get through those Sentinels when he's deployed, and Commence the Festivities. Such a great card, which doubles up as a pump. So I very rarely resource past 4 or 5 in this deck. There's no need to. So it's always given me that pump when I am using it. Next up, we've got kind of like the tech cards. I tend to always have a couple of one-offs, but not a couple. I tend to have like 4 or 5 in a deck to kind of deal with specific situations. So in this one, we've got Darth Vader Pilot, because if your opponent doesn't have any upgrade hate and you have Darth Vader in an early unit, he's magnificent, and you have a wonderful time with him, just smashing into face. Outer Rim Constable for upgrade removal, whether that's a Condemn or another Pilot or a Lightsaber. Keep Talking, really underrated card, exhausts 2 units in the early game. Aggressive Negotiations to help bring a game home if needed. I didn't really use it that much in the same sense that it's used in other decks, because I'm discarding cards a lot of the time. But it did come in handy in this particular tournament. And then Battle Fury, 3 copies, because this card is nuts on Sebulba. You can put 2 copies of it on the flip turn, and Sebulba is there just smashing for 9, and it is wonderful. Such a good combo, and it's just not something to be sniffed at. If they don't have an answer for it, then you're going to win. It's just one of those type of card combos that you have, and it's essential for this deck if you want to kind of keep up with those S tier decks. Right. 6 rounds, 6 opponents, 6 completely different decks. That does not happen much in a PQ. You usually end up playing 1 or 2 kind of repeats. But round 1, I played a Greef Karga, a yellow deck. Nice one to start off with. But yeah, first round, I was up against a man of clearly excellent taste. Woody, running Greef on a yellow base. Red, yellow, clearly the best combo out there. Quick apology, though. I do need to start off with, I very rudely did not write anyone's actual names down. So apologies. I'll be referring to you all as your melee handles. So I'm really sorry. I hope those handles are enough for you to find yourself if you've forgotten this wonderful face from the weekend. But yeah, so now going into a red hero deck, I was a little bit worried because of a space race and the hero has some in red and yellow, some really good access to some great cards, and could prove to be a bit of a problem for my plan. It turned out his deck was actually quite evenly split between space and ground units. Game 1 was tight. That extra advantage token that he adds on to all of his units is real tough to deal with. And I had to pull out some cunning trickery to exhaust and discard his cards at the right moment. I think in the first game he had to put Han Solo on the ground just to do some ambushing to try and slow me down. But I just managed to kind of outrace him to close out the first game. But it was close. He was an aggressive negotiation away from winning, I think. But game 2 was a bit different. Sebulba flip, 2 Battle Furies, swing for 9. I was never going to lose from there because of the nature of his deck. And I managed to take it home with that. Really good game to start off proceedings. And Greef was a leader that I was looking at to potentially play in this tournament. I've been giving him a lot of thought. Woody gave me a lot to think about in terms of how to potentially make Greef work. So keep an eye out on the channel, because I might have my own version of it soon. Round 2. So this was a tough one to deal with. I was up against a chap by the name of Geekbot72, running my boy Boba with Lake Country, a deck that's been doing really well since it's come out there. I've had very mixed results against this deck with testing with Sebulba, and I'll be honest, if you're playing this matchup with any deck, but particularly this deck, I need to have won by the time Boba has flipped, because it's a really infamous flip. If I haven't, the game will run away from me very quickly. His list was very similar to the one that made the Galactic Championship final. I'm not sure if it was card for card in the end, because I don't think the Galactic's finalist was running Nine Sisters, but he may have been. But either way, he did play the deck well. Game one, he bossed it, rolled me over. All the usual kind of Boba tricks, dealing damage with lots of different units. A topple came into play, really to kind of keep me in my place, and I couldn't really get the ball rolling from an aggro perspective. And by the time I realised how bad of a position I was in, it was too late, really. I was then pretty concerned about what was coming in the second round, trying to figure out how to get there. But I then remembered that the Galactic Champion deck didn't have any upgrade hate, and I didn't see him sideboard anything in. So I took a bit of a gamble with that list, being either a carbon copy or really similar to the Galactic finalist, and that he probably didn't have any upgrade hate in his main deck. He comfortably beat me, so he probably didn't think, I need to change to sort out to deal with my deck. So I started playing upgrades early, started forcing damage through quick and fast, and managed to snatch the win, and managed to do that kind of like both games. Darth Vader in a screeching tie, having a lovely old time in the third game. He was spinning around, causing 5 damage, and just popping. Sebulba's Pod Racer synergy combined with a Battle Fury Sebulba also made an appearance in one of those games as well. Exactly the kind of moments that this deck was built for, and it was great to see that synergy of those two cards working hand in hand. Round 3, I went up against a Piett blue list. I haven't had any practice against the Piett blue, but didn't think it would go well. But round 3, I went up against the eventual winner of the whole event, Tweed. He was playing Admiral Blue with a blue base and big spaceships, lots of healing, lots of restore. It was a tough one to play. But game 1 went really well. I opened with a double screeching tie. So that's a great opener against Piett because I'm swinging with 2 units. He was very worried about it, and he had to use one of his condemned on one of those TIE fighters, which kind of helped me out a little bit that he wasn't then using it on Sebulba later on. But I used my events to control the board and his hand, and Sebulba was able to swing with a couple of Ascension cables on, and I just managed to get over the line. 1-0 to Sebulba. But then games 2 and 3 happened. Game 2 was going in a similar vein to game 1. I got Ascension cable on him, so I wasn't worried about any Sentinels that he was able to put on. I was in a pretty good spot. I was hammering home extra damage, doing the usual aggro offensive, upgrades on Sebulba. I was gearing up a kill shot. I was convinced I was just about to win. Lined it up for the very next turn. I was feeling good. The vibes were immaculate. I was looking forward to lunch. Going into lunch at 3-0 with Sebulba. Oh, wonderful. Oh, and then he played the one card in that matchup I had absolutely no answer for. I wasn't really paying attention to the board state because I could just see a kill shot. And he played Cantwell and just shut down Sebulba. permanently exhausting him. I wasn't able to do anything with him. I'd put all my eggs in the Sebulba basket, which is the whole point of this deck, and that was it. That was the game. He took it. There was no coming back. I could just look there at my beautifully set up Sebulba kill shot that never was. And we moved on to the third game. And the third game was very much Tweed's version of the first game. He managed to take control really early on. It went perfectly for him, and he got to get to the stage where he was playing all of his nice big ships nice and early. Card draw from Invisible Hand was doing a lot of great work, exactly what it's supposed to do, exactly what the deck is built around doing. And he got a beautifully timed Chimera out, which just ended the game. So he deserved the win, and it's a good deck. It's a strong deck. He's obviously played lots of reps with it, but that Cantwell, man. Cantwell. What could have been if that Cantwell hadn't have shown up? Round 4, post lunch break, full of Scotch eggs and sausage rolls from the market down the road. Want to be very clear about that. Delicious lunch, but I was feeling good still in the event. You know, the 2-1. The maths is fairly simple though. At that point, I need to win the rest of my games so that I can slot comfortably into that top 8 and get some points for Disneyland. Straightforward, easy plan. What could go wrong? What could possibly scupper the plans of a ground aggro player to try and make it to the top cut? I get paired with Moto Talaric, I hope I've pronounced that right, from Deckstar Plans, running Cad Blue, which is the best deck in the format right now, the toughest one for me to deal with, and in the hands of not just one of the better players in the room, one of the best players in the country, really. He has performed really well at a lot of big tournaments, and he wins lots. It's not what I wanted to see. I didn't want that, but we plow on. Game 1, I got in some strong hits. I think I got down to 27, and I was getting a bit excited. It was all looking a bit promising, but then Sentinels, efficient removal, bit of healing, stabilize, strong units, and he just whipped the rug out from under my feet and ran away with it. Once Cad Bane Blue stabilizes and clears a board against a deck like the one I was playing, there's just nothing I can do to get back into the game. It's very much I'm going to try and kill you. I've not killed you. Okay, then I've lost. Game 2, he came out with all the early board heavy hitters. I spent most of the game just giving him like a little tickle with any units that I did manage to play, and he was just swatting them away like flies, really. It was tough, great player, great deck. I never really stood a chance, and that's fine. I knew going into this tournament that Cad Bane Blues were free games. I was probably going to lose them. Perfect hands, perfect draws, maybe a misplay from your opponent. I can beat it, but this time, smashed to pieces. Round 5. Interesting, really, to go from I'm going to try and qualify to the top 8 to I can't do it now. I'm much more relaxed, fairly confident that 4-2 wasn't going to be enough to sneak into the top cut based on some IDing stuff that had already gone on. So I just went out, thought, I'm just going to enjoy the game, enjoy my last 2 games, and have a bit of fun. I was paired with Reader of Deckstar Plans, gave me one of their fancy poker chip tokens. Founder of the group, along with Silk. He was running a really cool Luke Skywalker Cunning deck. Again, another red-yellow connoisseur. Lovely stuff. Hero Space Aggro. It was a tough matchup. First game was real close. He had me up against the ropes for quite a lot of the game. It's got strong units. There's a lot of kind of space synergy, and he was just piling damage into me, and I was just a little bit behind the whole time. He played Luke as a ground unit and stuck sudden ferocity in there, which put the heebies in my jeebies. To be honest, double sudden ferocity, like that was my thing with Battle Fury. The writing was on the wall. He swung in. I was 8 damage away from being able to beat him. Sebulba could only do 3, so if I did anything, he had lethal. So he just claimed. So I had to claim and pray to the top deck gods because there was one card that could have helped me out there, and that was aggressive negotiations. And it popped up, and I could swing for 8 with Sebulba. It feels a bit nasty. It's a bit dirty, but it's what that card is there for. I put it in there exactly for that kind of get out of jail free type of thing. One of the luckiest escapes, really, I think I've had in SWU. Game 2, I switched out some of my stuff. I switched out Punishing One and some of the Unsanctioned for some Carillion Hounds, and that match went pretty smoothly. He went full space aggro. I was on the ground. I saw those Carillion Hounds at the right time. They come in ready. So I was kind of praying that he wasn't going to drop a ground unit randomly just before. But yeah, I managed to get Carillion Hounds down, which kind of helped me bring the game home. And I ended up winning 2-0. Hoping that I didn't have to run another deck Star Plans Gauntlet for round 6. Round 6 was very interesting, and I'm going to park it on here so you can see the predicament I was in. I peeked at the standings, and I had a pair up, and I didn't realise it in the last round, which kind of shot my OMW up. And it turned out I ended up having a shot at top 8. 6 of the current top 8 were IDing and going all the way through, but 7th and 8th still had to be played for because 11 points would not have been enough for those 2 guys to ID. So they had to play. So that was a knockout game, which left 1 spot available between the 4 of us. Porg, Courtois, IB Small, and myself were fighting for that last spot. And because of OMW, it's really funky, depending on who wins what games and who would go through. So it was on. It was not on for long. I got absolutely wrecked by Porg and his Tobias Beckett deck. Just slapped around like a killer whale playing with a seal. But I say that with genuine affection because it's such a cool deck and lots of trickery, lots of combos, some real hard hitting units in there. I was never in either of the games. I tried. I'd have 2 really good first turns, but then it just all of the Tobias shenanigans would happen, and I just get slapped around. But the highlight from it, or low light, depending on whose perspective you're looking at it from. I thought I had it. I had a couple of upgrades on Sebulba. I was set up for my second attack with him, which would have done a ton of damage. And I thought, actually, this one's probably quite winnable. I'm in a good spot here. He hit his Tobias flip, like had given me some stuff. He'd got some credits. Played, I need to get this in the right order. Played a Constable to remove a Battle Fury. I'm thinking, that's all right. I've still got 1. That's fine. He then played Rio and ended up replaying the Constable, removed the second Battle Fury, and then smashed Sebulba with a bunch of units and just cleared my board. I was done. And it was like watching a magician do a card trick. Everything I'd built up gone on the flip turn. But it was a masterclass on how to play that deck and just dismantle your opponent with it. So hats off to him. I really enjoyed playing against it. It was really cool to see. And I do like Tobias, and it's a deck that I want to maybe revisit. But unfortunately for Porg, he didn't snatch eighth place. Small from the Inglorious Bastards took the last spot, which I was a bit surprised about, but OMW is a bizarre thing. So commiserations to Paul, because I really thought he was going to make it through. But maybe if I'd won, OMW would have meant that I would have made it. So I didn't stand a chance. But what could have been? So 3 and 3 at a PQ with a fairly off-piste Sebulba Cunning in a field where a third of the players, at least, were playing a Cad Bane of some description, but playing 6 rounds and facing 6 completely different decks. That's never happened to me before at a PQ. But honestly, I'm really happy with the performance that I did. I had a sniff of the top 8. So, which I really wasn't expecting at all with that deck. Would I change anything? Other than the sideboard, I'd probably swap out Masterstroke, which I didn't use once. So probably swap that out for some proper kind of credit hate to deal with decks like Tobias and Landu, which is on the rise, I think. No, I wouldn't. This deck has some obvious weaknesses. It's a one-trick pony. That's the biggest weakness. But those ground sentinel decks can really slow it down. And Cantwell Cruiser is now a thing of nightmares. But if your opponent also has some upgrade removal, your game plan gets significantly harder to execute as well. But if you want a deck that goes fast, hits hard, has a genuinely kind of like exciting flip turn, real fast attack, fluffy synergy moments with things like with the pod races as well, then yeah, take a little punt on Sebulba. You know, I did, and yeah, I'm going to do it again. Before I go, massive shout outs to the dispatchers and Norwich crew who made the trip to March with us. Fellow dispatchers, Danny finished in that top 8 with Cad Blue. Came unstuck against the Cad Blue player that I played against. Ollie from Athena Games, Ollie Anko, you can see here, finished 7th with a Sukatano. Great performance. Glad I didn't play against that because I can't beat it with that deck that I played. Not a Sabine player. Ethan finished 5th with Cad Bane Yellow. Cad Bane Yellow is really solid. So if you don't want to play blue and you want to mess around, that's a great deck to play. Jampot, Jamie, dispatcher number 5, finished 2nd, his 2nd PQ that he's finished 2nd at, playing with the Armourer, running all the way to the PQ final. In the first weekend of a new set is a fantastic result. Well done, Jampot. As a group, we're pretty close to getting a win, so it's just a shame. But of course, congratulations to the winner, Tweed, winning on Admiral Piett Blue. Yeah, just well deserved. Smashing people with it all day. But yeah, really enjoyable first PQ of season 2 and first PQ of Ashes of the Empire. But I'm No Beef Just Party. This has been some SWURAY nonsense. Do subscribe to the channel if you want to see more red, yellow funkiness from deck text, just kind of meta news, or me just setting fire to a bunch of Cantwell Cruiser cards. That might be the next video. I've got loads of them. Might have a purge. Anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one.